So as we're getting into Q4, almost pretty much like Christmas time, the best time of tech to actually buy, upgrade for yourself or someone that you care about is now. These are 10 items that I think are worthy upgrades so far in the year of tech. We've got pretty much every category that you can think of, ranging from like compute to smartphones to creator stuff, audio. Let's get to our top 10 list. So we're gonna start off with smartphones. Controversial take here, but a lot of hype around the iPhone Air. This is the thinnest device that they've come out with. Obviously, we've seen the Pro, Pro Max, just the standard iPhone 17 as an example. But if you have not yet held the new iPhone Air, I thought it was gonna be called like the iPhone 17 Air. It is one of the thinnest devices and it feels like such a different experience holding onto this kind of phone. Who this is kind of meant for is someone that just can sacrifice having, say, multiple cameras if you're fine with just the one, kind of like a simple point and shoot. If you don't need that killer, like all day battery life. Like if you are on this phone for more than like 6 hours, you might need to charge it by the end of the day. But if you want like the latest and greatest, if you want what is coming next from Apple, you can also imagine this being like a foldable device. I've seen some leaks and rumors of something like that. If you want something really refreshing for tech, I know that people have knocked Apple for never being, innovative. They always kind of lag behind. This is one of the coolest products, or I guess like smartphones that we've seen in years. Dope, definitely worth checking out. But on the flip end, this is the new Pixel 10 Pro Fold. So imagine, just like I said, those two smaller devices into a foldable form factor. This is essentially the newest folding device that we have. So on the inside, this has the largest display on any foldable at 8 inches. On the front, 6.4 inches, and both screens now have been increased in brightness to 3000 nits. I would say that 2025 has been the year of foldables, more so in the sense that you can fully get one without having any compromises. I feel like foldables have gotten to the point where they're pretty mainstream, even so to the fact that when you know that Apple is gonna come out with one, we've got to that saturation point. So I think foldables are great. Even the Fold from Google is IP68 water and dust resistant. So we are at that place where you can buy one without having that sacrifice, which is dope. So those are my smartphones of choice. Okay, so next, say you got a new device. This next one is around kind of like desk setup or home setup for all your gadgets. So this is the new Belkin UltraCharge Pro 3-in-1 magnetic charger. It's a really cool hub to charge all your devices. So for example, right here, I have the iPhone Air obviously mounted. It works via MagSafe. So say at the end of the day, this is sitting next to your bed or your nightstand. You'll just plop your phone on. Obviously that begins to charge. And with one of the more like recent iOS updates, instead of getting like say a night clock, if you put it landscape, you actually get all that info and you can switch one of these to kind of whatever you want. So I think that's pretty cool for a nightstand. And underneath, this is actually where you can charge a couple different products. So this is funny. So as an example, these are the new Powerbeats Fit, which you can see just have popped up right there to pair on my device. So these literally just came out. I'm a big fan of Beats products because if you don't use an iPhone, say you've got the Pixel Fold, these will work as well. These have been some of my favorites for working out, but unfortunately, these do not have wireless charging for whatever reason. So I have I guess like the more expensive Powerbeats Pros, which you can see once mounted, I get that charging indication. So if you do want MagSafe or you do want wireless charging, you'll have to use that, or even say the AirPods 3. I'm a really big fan of these ones specifically because these also track heart rate. So if you're not like a big wearables person, if you don't want the Apple Watch, which you can see once again on the Belkin charger, it's your third place to charge like an item. If you don't wear that, you can actually track your heart rate through the Powerbeats Pros, and you can check that on your app, whether that's iOS or once again Android, which is super dope. But getting back to the actual charger, you can see that it has fast charging. So it has 25 watts, it's got Qi 2. You can see that you can get from like 0 to 50% in around like 25 minutes, depending on what device you have. But the best part is you can see right here, it has a built-in fan to help keep your device cool. And that is active cooling to help obviously keep your device cooler, but that will also in turn charge your device faster. So actually, if I bring this up, it's actually quite faint. You can't quite hear the sound of the fan, which other ones I've heard before. So that's really nice, still keeping your device cool, but it won't keep you up at night with the sound of that fan. And it also has like a very premium feel to it. It's like nice and sturdy. So in case you like accidentally like nudge it, it's not gonna kind of go anywhere. So very premium, a nice little charging hub for all your devices. So if you do make that upgrade this year, this is maybe something to consider to getting for your home or for your own little setup. And with all the devices removed, you can actually see how clean this looks, and this actually pivots up and down to whatever orientation you have. And since Google now finally has their own like MagSafe Pixel Snap. That also works with your phone, and that charges wirelessly as well. So that is a super clean and easy setup. So to the next upgrade, I wanted to include something a bit more like budget friendly. I know a lot of these upgrades cost, a decent amount of money, but this one is on the cheaper side. Plus, it's a nice just little upgrade to have for your own personal use. So no matter what device you have, you always need a power bank if you're talking tech to just keep your devices juiced up. Once again, this is hooked up from Belkin. It's great. It has 20,000 milliamps of juice. It has this nice little button to display the actual battery percentage, just a little LED indicator there on the side. And you can see the ports that you use to charge your devices. You've just got 2 USB-C, and it's nice to have one legacy USB-A for maybe some of your older devices. So just an easy, budget-friendly, or more affordable upgrade that I think everyone needs in their life if they collect or use any pieces of tech. So next, switching to computers. This is honestly one of my personal favorites. And in 2025, I know that we've released hundreds of different options, whether it's laptops, PCs, Macs, whatever it is. This one holds a dear place in my heart because this is the 50th anniversary exclusive Microsoft Surface laptop. And what makes this so unique, it actually has the classic Microsoft 1975 logo etched in. So this is like their OG logo from when they started back in the day. This is quite limited edition. I was planning on doing some sort of giveaway around this, just to kind of give back to you guys. So if you are interested, just make sure you're subbed to the channel. We are approaching that 1 million sub mark. I'm hoping that we hit it sometime in 2026, but that would be pretty cool. And just make sure to comment your favorite item from today's list, and I will try to hook you guys up. Other cool things, it has gold detailing. Normally this little Microsoft or Windows logo is silver on the regular laptops. On the box, which you can see this one's a little dinged up, I pulled it out of storage, but a cool little story of how back in 1975, a couple friends decided to start off Microsoft. Every tech startup used to start in a garage. So that's kind of cool to see or think back 50 years, how long they've come, and now they're a multi-billion-dollar company, which proves you always got to start somewhere. And kind of looking back to even my own YouTube or social media kind of career or path, you always just have to start at some point. And the fact I've been doing this for over a decade now, crazy to think back. We're still here. Hopefully you're still watching this. Okay, so next off, no matter what laptop you end up getting or what computer, PC, whatever, that's fine. This next upgrade has been a long time coming as well. So this is the brand new Logitech MX Master 4. I swear, or I used to swear by the MX Master 3, 3S. I've had every colorway. I've collected them like infinity stones. You can see I've pretty much got the entire lineup, including the MX Go Anywhere. I love these mouses, plural. They're just kind of my go-to. So any sort of accessory that I recommend for a computer, instead of spare your hand the carpal tunnel and using the trackpad, just get a mouse. It is so worth it. This is the best one to buy. This has finally got an upgrade to the MX Master 4. So the big upgrades to this are the actual material. I found on the 3s, you can even see in this one, it just kind of collects extra gunk, and as you use it over time, because the material is soft, it gets dirty, it kind of degrades, especially if you have the white one. You start to see all the nasty gunk that's on your hands move onto the actual mouse. They have changed the material for the 4 to be a bit harder. It's still nice and comfortable to hold, which is really nice, and they also have this new haptic button on the right-hand side. So wherever your thumb rests, you can get haptic feedback. Obviously, you can change a lot of the controls, customize it for how you want it. And since I probably talked about, the 3s for years, I'm hoping Logitech obviously saw that, so they sent me one with my own little custom name, which I think is cool. Such a welcome upgrade. So if you're in the spot for a new mouse for your own little desk setup, I cannot recommend one more than the MX Master 4. So next, switching to audio, I know that I mentioned the Powerbeats Pros, but these are a new pair of headphones by CMF, by Nothing. So if you haven't heard by CMF before, they're essentially the budget version or the more affordable version of the company Nothing. I've recently seen reports of them kind of splitting ways or going on their own separate direction, which once again, totally fine, but CMF, more budget friendly, trying to hook you guys up with some solid value. As an example, these headphones cost $99, $100 US, $150 Canadian, which is insane value considering For example, like the Sony's, close to $500, or even the AirPods Maxes, which are once again so expensive, you are getting a ton of value. Obviously, the sound quality won't be like on par, but are the Sony's like 5 times better? I don't think so. If you're looking to save a bit of money, these honestly still have great features. They still have active noise cancellation. They have 100 hours of battery life. It has spatial audio. You can honestly not really ask for anything more for a pair of headphones in and around that price point. And like I said, nothing makes some great products, whether you're looking for smartphones, earbuds, smartwatches, all for way less than you'd pay for most other stuff. So really worth checking out, especially once again in 2025, a dope edition and saving you some money. Moving on to some creator tech. So this is, I guess, like not technically the camera, which I guess I've reviewed before previously. I'll mention it briefly. A7CR by Sony. It got this little 40mm prime on it, but the main thing here is once again audio related. It is this cool little microphone. This is the Sony ECM M1, and what makes this great, 2 little great features here, it is completely cable free. So typically when you have, say, any sort of audio, you need to kind of wrap a little headphone jack cable from there to obviously the side of the camera. For this, you don't need it because it has little pins that go into the hot shoe mount, so that's how it corresponds to the camera. And the second thing, once you slide that in, it will work. It has this little control knob here, which controls the direction of where the audio comes from. So say you're doing like a vlog, you want to get both angles, both yourself. When you're talking behind the camera and you still want to capture, audio in the other direction, you can go bi-directional. Or if you only want to get audio from one specific source all around, you just need to flip this specific knob. Just make sure if you are switching between it, say you are vlogging, say you're kind of like on the go, you remember to change it back to the actual setting that you want, because there have been multiple times, multiple shoots where I have forgotten about that, and you're kind of screwed for audio when you pull it into post. But cool little upgrade, definitely recommend it for creators. It's a bit on the pricier end, but worth it if you are constantly creating and doing it as like a full-time job. So next off for gaming, we really have no other choice other than to pick the Nintendo Switch 2 because it's technically the only new console that we've got so far in 2025. So I've been playing this like kind of hit or miss on and off because if you missed it, you kid. In my very limited amounts of downtime, just kind of playing something handheld, something mobile. So I've been playing like Donkey Kong Bonanza. Honestly, just playing some of the OG Nintendo GameCube games. That's like the system that I kind of grew up on. That N64, like Xbox 360, that was like my trifecta kind of growing up as a kid. It's been a good upgrade. We've honestly waited for it close to 7 years, so it is nice. I wish it had an OLED display. I wish the battery life was a bit better, but surprisingly, the Joy-Cons for me, even though they're magnetic, they've been kind of fine. I have found maybe playing prolonged use, my hands getting a little cramped up. I think that's just because it's so thin. I wonder if anyone else has had that similar experience, but right around the corner, we also have the new ROG Ally X, like the Xbox collab. I'm pretty stoked to get that, so I will be getting that in studio. I'll compare them. I'll let you know my favorite one. Like I said, Xbox 360. Out of all consoles, is probably the one that I spent the most time playing. So I do have a soft spot for Xbox, big soft spot for Halo. So I am stoked. Make sure you're subbed to see that. And last but not least, item number 10 on the upgrade list. This is like a teaser. So this is a battery pack. Obviously, it's not the full piece of tech. This one is interesting. So this is from the Hypershell X Ultra. This is a exoskeleton. So this is more in the like fitness, workout tech, or exploring space. I'm like big into working out, big into fitness. So honestly, out of all the tech, I was the most excited to test this one out. So I have my full separate video coming on this. I don't want to spoil too much, but essentially you strap this like to your body. It helps like aid you in running, in walking, to give you longer distances. And it's one of the coolest pieces of tech. Like obviously I do this for a living, but I was so stoked to actually try this, to test it. We did some pretty funky stuff. So I cannot wait for you guys to see that. But that has been my top 10 upgrades for tech in 2025. If there's any other ones that I've missed, or we might be getting some before the end of the year, let me know down in the comments. We're making our way to that 1 million subscriber mark, so just want to give thanks and say thanks to everyone who's watched my content. Make sure you're subbed. We'll hopefully ring that in sometime next year. Stay tuned for that giveaway, and I'll catch the rest of you for one of my next ones. Peace.